Huge price explosion for our cryptocurrencies, and that has been fantastic for our portfolios, for our wallets. So today I'm going to show you how you can use AI to boost or to choose spreads here on Bitopics. As we've seen, the copy trading for Bitopics has been fantastic, but some users want the freedom. They don't want to pay the 30%, or they don't want to be the ones not in control, but most of them maybe lack the understanding on how to choose an option, how to know how much I'm going to make or I'm going to lose by opening a spread. Again, because here we track single legs and not the whole package. So I'm going to teach you how you can use AI to help you, and even free AI. So you don't need to have the pro version of GPT, whatever AI you're using, even the free ones like Gemini, for example, you are going to be able to just put in the information and it's going to give you everything you need to make your own choice and analyze the market in the best way possible. So let's talk about it in today's video. So shall we start with the metrics right here, with the numbers? We have Bitcoin at 109,700, Ethereum at 2776, XRP at 231, BNB at 666, and Solana at 161. So fantastic for everything. We can see the huge spike in price and in volume here for Bitcoin after last video, where it reached the moving average, the 200 moving average, and the 200 moving average held very strong. Now we're going up on the Bollinger Bands. We could see another all-time high here at 112. Hopefully we do. And for Ethereum, more of the same. We broke above the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. On the 4 hours, we did use the 200 moving average as kind of a platform, you know, to bounce on. And we're going up very fast. Volume is increasing. The RSI went from just a few days ago oversold all the way to now being overbought. And we still have room to go on the upside, even though we are already out of the Bollinger Bands. If we switch to the daily, you can see that we are in the Bollinger Bands as well, but we are now about the 200 moving average, which is very good for us, because now if we actually break and hold above this line, this will become a place for us to rest if we need to settle down before going back up. So very good for us. But how are you gonna able to make money with our options? By selling options, creating that passive income. So I already opened mine. If we go back to the 4 hours, even the 1 hour, you can see that I already made my bet right before this huge spike right here. I sold a put spread, and we can see it right here. So the put spread was a 25.75 and a 2500. So I sold that, I collected the premium, and now I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing if you are not very familiar with options or just don't know how to put a spread together. So what you're going to do, first thing first, you're going to toggle the table, which is behind my camera, but you can see it right here. There you go. You're going to toggle the table right here. Bam. And you're going to see all these prices. And now what you have to keep in mind is that prices that don't have number right here are because they are too far out of the money or too far in the money. Okay. In this case is out of the money because these are puts. And in this case, on this side right here, these are calls. And on the other side, these are puts. So calls and puts. If you see green right here on the buy side, meaning that these are buy prices. If you toggle that to buy, you're going to see different prices, because now these are still calls and puts, but now you're seeing selling prices. So what you want to do with the spread, you want to sell a leg and buy a leg further out of the money. So here, what I did, you can see the 25.75 and the 2500. You usually sell the one closest to the price and you buy another one just even further out of the price, because this is going to limit your max loss. Let's try to make something for Ethereum. Since now we're super extended, we could look at the 2600. So let's go right here. I usually start selling a leg first and then I buy the cheaper one because I want to get that premium very fast. So I'm going to go to the 2600, make sure I am on sell, and I'm going to click right here. Bam, you can already see some information that one contract is costing 2.66. So this is how much I'm going to make. And this just updated. Now it is 3.07. So if I go right here and I put, for example, 4, I know that I'm going to need a margin of $1,000, 125 for 4 contracts, and I'm going to get paid $12.28. So let's run these numbers, just $1,000 right here. This is how much I would put in margin. This is the capital that I need to open this spread. Everything, but I still have the other leg to go. Well, you don't need margin to buy options. You just need margin to sell options, because when you sell, there's a risk of you having to put up your own money to cover for the losses. In the case that you're buying, the maximum that you can lose is the amount that you paid to buy that option. So if you put $100, you can lose 100. If you put 50, you can lose 50, so on and so forth. So here out of my pocket, we will have to put 1,125 plus the price that I'm gonna pay to open the next option. So I'm gonna collect $12 right here, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna screenshot this. On the Mac is Command-Shift-5. I'm gonna screenshot this right here, bam, and I'm gonna go to Gemini. Here, I already gave Gemini some information. I told him, you're gonna help me by creating summaries of crypto option spreads. I'm gonna send you screenshots of different legs, and you must calculate max profit, max loss, and ROI on margin. Is it okay? And then he said it was fine. So now we're gonna paste this leg. We're gonna go right here. We're gonna switch to buy. And what I do, you can do differently. I click on the furthest one. So now the furthest one that we have is the 2450. And now we're gonna go with 4 again. So still 4 legs. You usually want to go with the same amount. So if you do 4 on one side, you got to do 4 on the other side. So we sold 4, we got to buy 4. So here I see that I'm going to spend $5. Remember, I made $12. I'm going to spend 5. The difference is my profit. So I'm going to screenshot this as well. There you go. And I'm going to go back here on Gemini and I'm going to say run these numbers. Let's see what it does. Hopefully it gives us some information. I don't usually go with Gemini. I usually go with GPT, but Gemini is very, very good. The 2.5 flash is very, very good. Here it seems that is working. Here we have leg 1, we have leg 2. Well, it is getting things very, very right. Make sure you confirm, look at the images again, make sure everything is right. Here it seems right. So I got $12 from one leg and I spent $5 on the other one. So my net premium is going to be $728. This is how much I put in my pocket. So this is the maximum profit. How much is the maximum loss? What is the most that I can lose? It's the difference between the spreads. So the 2,600 minus the 2,450, that is the spread. So it's $150. And I'm going to subtract the premium that I got from this. But this one is actually wrong. So, okay, the max loss is wrong because we need to multiply the spread by 4, which is the amount of contracts. So we actually have to do 150 times 4, which is 600. And then we subtract 728 from 600. So it's going to be 592 something. So that is how much I can lose from the $1,000 in margin that I used, 1,100 if it was. So now we calculate the ROI. The ROI is how much I'm making compared to how much margin I put in. So the ROI that I'm getting is 0.65. So I'm making 0.65% in a day. Remember, these numbers could seem very little because it is not even 1%, but this is in a day. So if we go to a compound calculator right here, for example, we put 1,125. This is how much we started with. We go for 0.6, 1 year, include no additional deposits, calculate. Look at this, almost 10K that you would be making, 700% returns. These numbers are just speculation. You're not going to be making 0.6% every single day. Forget about it. But you get the gist that these numbers compounded, even if they are very, very tiny, compounded throughout the year, they can make huge returns, which is what we see in the copy trading. The copy trading is the result of compounding interest, which gave us a total of 91% on our money. And this is stablecoin. This is 91% on a dollar. You cannot find a better place like this. So in your case, what you can do, you can keep going and sending screenshots until you find a P&L, an ROI that fits your criteria. In my case, it's between 0.3 and 0.6. Depending on the volatility, I try to be more conservative or more aggressive. Again, it depends on the volatility itself. But this is up to you. I already opened mine. Mine was very safe today. Mine was a 0.4 for today. You can see the 2575 and the 2500. That gave me a 0.4 return on that. And usually what I do, again, this is for me. I'm building something, I'm vibe coding, and I'm making something for me to track these options. Because at the end of the day, if you go to trade history on the topics, these are all single legs and it is hard to track all of them. So what I'm doing is an option tracker. This is still local. I'm running that for myself as a little project, you know, going back to coding. And here I posted and I listed every option that I sold on the public account, not on my personal one. And you can see we have green all over the place. We have 26 wins and 3 losses. Of course, this overall ROI needs change. These formulas need to be updated, especially the overall ROI one, because it is calculating on the volume, the total margin used, and this is not the capital that I have. So I need to fix that. But you can see here, I can track all of that and let's actually do together what I would do personally for my strategy. So I'm going to put all this data right here into my tracker. So for example, I sold the 2575. So we'll go right here. I already added the lag. It already showed that it is a spread. I'm going to go 2575. I think that's what I put. Yeah. And then here the 2500, and you can see it starts filling the things, but we need all the information for it to be right. So 113.82 and here 113.82 contracts. It is 42 contracts. So 42 here 42 as well, and here 59.64, 59.64. So here's something that I need to fix. You can see that these numbers that are shown right here are for the whole position, but my spreadsheet is multiplying that by 42. So I need to actually divide these numbers by 42 so I can have the entry price instead. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, so now we got the right numbers. We can see that 54.18, this is how much I'm gonna make out of this, which is also the net premium. Again, we have net premium and max profit matching because we are with credit spreads. But if we were with debit spreads, it would be a whole lot different. So now I'm gonna put here the margin required, which we can find on the topics right here, 12,103.14. So 12,103.14. And then here, the price of Ethereum, when I opened, I like to track that usually. If we go back right here to the 1 hour, Bitcoin was around the 27.35. So I'm going to put 27.35 right here. And guess what? We now have a little P&L chart of how much we can make, how much we can lose. Right here, you can see the maximum that we can lose is the $3,095. The maximum that we can make is the $54. The break even is right around the 2574.96. The maximum loss is this much. So I keep it on pending because still today is not the ending day. I click on save strategy and I do a little refresh. And now my strategy is pending right here with a maximum profit of 0.45. So this is how I track, but you can do that on a spreadsheet. You can do it however you feel most comfortable with. But now you understand that the power that AI has, it is not to trade for you, but it's to give you freedom for you to track, analyze, choose your own options to sell, and again, boost that yield on your portfolio, on your crypto, not only with options, with futures. You can use AI to help you look for points of interest, point of control, volume, a lot of indicators. Now you can screenshot the indicator, the trading view page, send that to Gemini, to OpenAI, whatever model you're using, and these LLMs will analyze and give you a lot of information that you can use to boost your trades. It can be futures, it can be spot, it can be options, whatever you have in mind. AI is your friend, and you actually saw that right here in today's video. So hopefully this was a very good lesson. If it was, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Friday. Peace.